Hey, it's Craig back with another Mortgage Minute. And man, what the heck is up with mortgage interest rates? For a while now, I have been telling people that mortgage interest rates are going to be coming down. You're going to see inflation come down. And truthfully speaking, I really thought that you would see the start of that. You would have thought that, have seen the start of that in May of this year. Okay. So, as I'm recording this video, it's June of this year. And the reality is we really haven't seen any meaningful activity as far as mortgage interest rates going down. So the $1 million question that I think a lot of people are asking right now is, okay, well, does that mean you were wrong, Craig? Does that mean that mortgage rates are not going to come down? And here's the quick answer to the question. No, we're not wrong in the thought process of mortgage interest rates coming down. However, the timing of it, man, that is not as easy to be able to forecast as it might seem. So let's talk about what causes interest rates to be high, what causes interest rates to be low. And this is a very general discussion. Okay, I'm not trying to pass myself off as some major economist, but as a general rule, if inflation is high, mortgage interest rates are going to be higher. Okay. And if inflation is low, mortgage interest rates are going to be lower. The reason for that is when an investor commits to purchasing a mortgage backed security, they're being given a set amount of interest that they're going to receive from that mortgage backed security. So if you think about it, if you do a mortgage loan, and let's just say you do a mortgage loan and the interest rate is 4.5%, nobody's going to come back to you 6 months later and say, by the way, inflation's higher, so we need you to pay 5%. You've got a contract. You're only going to pay 4.5%. So the person that's purchasing that investment, they have to be thinking about if down the road inflation is going to be higher, is a 4.5% return a good enough return for me to purchase this particular security? And not to mention the fact that they're really not getting 4.5%. They're getting a lower return because there's other costs associated with that. So, like I said, as a general rule, if inflation is high, mortgage interest rates will tend to be higher. If inflation is low, mortgage interest rates will tend to be lower. So here's a $1 million question. Is inflation going to come down? And my answer to that is yes. Here's why. The Federal Reserve has a goal to bring inflation down. Okay. The Federal Reserve always gets what it wants. All right. The Federal Reserve is going to bring inflation down. Now, what's going to happen in the meantime, for that to really take place? It's a great question. Okay. The Federal Reserve has been on record many times saying that they're going to have what's called a soft landing, which means they're going to be able to get inflation down without throwing us into a recession. Maybe that happens. Maybe that doesn't happen. I tend to believe that they're going to have a harder time doing that. And it's more likely that at some point we're going to go into a recession. If our economy goes into a recession, it is an extremely high likelihood that inflation will be coming down, because guess what? That means the economy is slowing down. Right now, our economy is extremely resilient. Okay. It's more resilient than I think a lot of people thought. And so, just quite honestly, the economy's hanging on. Okay. So the economy is not slowing down at the pace that we thought it would slow down. But you know what? It's not an exact science. The Fed met last week and didn't do anything. They didn't raise the Fed funds rates. They didn't lower the Fed funds rates. Why? Because they wanted to take a pause to see how their previous rate increases are going to ultimately affect the economy. Because here's what you got to remember. It takes about 6 to 9 months for anything that the Fed does for you to see the real effect of that. Man, that's tough. If you're charged with making a decision, and the decision that you make, you really not going to see the results for another 6 to 9 months. And guess what? 30 days later, you're going to have to continue to make decisions about that same issue. It's kind of tough sledding, right? So that's what the Fed did. Is the Fed said, hey, we want to put a pause to see what our previous rate increases are going to do to slow down the economy. But make no mistake about it. If the economy does not slow down, the Fed will absolutely slow the economy down. So to get back to the original question, was I wrong in saying that mortgage rates are coming down? I don't think so. Mortgage rates are still going to be coming down. Now, might it take a little bit longer than what we initially anticipated? Yeah, that's probably a true statement. So, but at some point, mortgage interest rates will be lower. Here's why this is important. There's a lot of people right now that otherwise would be buying a home, but they're putting everything on hold, waiting for interest rates to come down. Okay. When interest rates do come down, there's going to be a buying frenzy for real estate. So if you're one that is right now waiting for interest rates to come down, I got news for you. Interest rates will be coming down, but you will be paying more for that house 12 months from now. You will be paying more for that house 6 months from now. So there's a reason why we keep hammering on the point of go ahead and buy the home now, turn around and refinance your loan down the road when interest rates come down, because there's a lot of people that are sitting on the sidelines, and when they jump back into it, it's going to be a buying frenzy. So listen, if you got questions about that, I would love to talk to you. 615-498-5626. Sorry for the long video. I appreciate you watching, and give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about it.